Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday. My name is Rayge, and we are back today to break down the addition of Jean Grey finally joining Marvel Strike Force. Such an iconic character, and you bet there's going to be a shout out to, at some point, to Charles Xavier and the rest of the other X-Men. But yes, this is going to be a crazy awesome character joining the game. We've saved up a lot of power cores, and we are going to be going ahead with the unlock. But for those of you that aren't aware of her abilities, this is a good snapshot of what she's going to be doing. She's going to be prolonging the negative effects for all enemies with her special. She's got a telekinetic blitz, which also reduces all speed bar in Crucible offense. Her ultimate, Terror Throw, is piercing damage to the entire team while also clearing revive and preventing revive from enemies killed by her attacks. Now, her passive Marvel Girl also applies defense up along with barrier for the rest of the X-Men and Avenger allies, because she is going to be that main supportive character for those teams. And at the same time, she's also reducing each enemy's special ability energy by 10 in Crucible offense and in Rayge. So it's going to be really, really fun to test out this new team. And remember, both her and Hercules are formulating 3 new teams that are collectively changing the X-Men and Avenger meta. Pretty exciting times, to say the least. So without further ado, we're just going to start with the fun part of the video, which is we're going to open up, we're going to crack open some power core orbs. So we're going to get her unlock. We're going to take a look at her kit and then take a look preemptively what those ISO 8 upgrades would be, as well as the T4 recommendations. But chances are there's probably going to be quite a few upgrades to be had, because she's just going to be such a great character for all the teams. And as well, obviously, we know Age of X being around the corner, there's going to be lots of value. So if you recall, there's always going to be a range between 6 to 180 shards. So from my experience anyways, we've saved and saved and saved. And now this is definitely a worthy character to use our power cores. And yeah, this is just us just milking all of the arena. And now we're able to take advantage of this. Typically, my unlocks with characters with using power cores has ranged anywhere from, 10,000 power cores to like 15,000. It really depends on the luck at the end of the day, but I'm hoping it's going to be in that mark there. So we got 41,676. Let's hope we can get some good drops along the way. Also, obviously doesn't hurt sometimes if you get that big one. The blues and purples add up. So it's a small little 6 shard right there. Another 6 shard. Oh gosh, like hopefully mathematically we're not just gonna keep getting 6s here. Oh, that's not bad, not bad. That's a good little filler there. A 20 shard right there. Because at the end of the day, we still want to always just keep on maximizing. That's a little bit higher than the typical green. Okay, not too shabs, not too shabs. Another blue, another 20. Wow. Okay. So now I believe we're more than halfway there. So that's what I mean, guys. This is the best way to unlock brand new characters coming to the game, completely free to play. All you do is just hoard, and then you get this opportunity. So we got 74 shards right, guys. We're so close here. Maybe I messed up my math actually. Maybe it wasn't like 15,000 power cores, but usually it's like around that 10, 12k range. If you obviously end up just getting nothing but the 6s there, right? Which we've gotten a lot of, right? So 86. Okay, so mathematically, 2 or 3 more orbs, we should be there. Okay, 35,000 power cores right there. Boom, another green one. So it looks like we are actually just gonna end up using. This isn't a great drop, but I mean, still very, very close. So 98 shards. We'll just finish it off here. Boom, ending up with the blue there. So we get an extra 10 shards, and we do get the unlock there. So give or take, roughly, it was around 8,000 power cores, if my math is correct. But now we do have our unlock, so we're gonna do that right away here. And I am planning to use her actually right away in the new Spotlight raids that also starts today. And if I'm not mistaken as well, there's a new showcase event for this team as well. So pretty cool times, guys. Make sure you're also taking advantage of the red star orbs, because we can now obviously get the unlock there. As you can see, some of my folks in the alliance already obtaining the 7 red for Jean Grey. So Sidewave basic ability. With this ability, she's going to be applying damage and heal block on the enemy. There's also defense down getting applied and heal block and additional damage. Now, if you were to T4 upgrade this ability, there's going to be defense down getting applied for 2 turns. Anytime there's defense down, it's going to increase the potency of damage. I think this is a good upgrade, especially given how much value she's going to be utilized across the different teams. This is just a nice little damage addition, even though she's in that supportive role. So Sidewave, T4 this, but it's more of a luxury. Let's take a look at the rest of her kit to see what we should prioritize, though. Her special is called Telekinetic Blitz, attacking all the enemies for 80% damage, prolonging the duration of all negative effects on the enemies by 1. And I like how it doesn't exclude things like trauma. Maybe I'm mistaken, but let's take a look. There's disruption getting applied, additional focus, and then as well on Crucible offense. This character does have 3 or more immortal X-Men allies or in raids. She cannot miss this attack, and it also cannot be blocked or counterattacked. So it does include every negative effect, including trauma and including stuns, which is pretty notable, guys. As you level this ability up, defense down once again. She's going to reduce the speed bar in Crucible, and as well, she's also going to be applying any of the following negative effects, right? Defense down, heal, block, disruption, and then finally, Crucible offense, applying Safeguard for 2 full turns to herself and Immortal X-Men. Absolute must-have upgrade here. This is obviously more of a luxury for the Crucible setting, but having said that, if there is going to be a future legendary trials where the Crucible bonuses are live, this is a good upgrade. In the meantime, if you're not interested in Crucible, at least you can save a little bit of T4 materials right here until you decide to bring this team up into the Crucible setting. So you can hold off if you wanted to save T4s, but this is going to be a no-brainer later on. Terror Throw, her ultimate ability, attacking all enemies in addition to applying bleed with piercing damage. This attack also has additional focus, which is pretty notable. And what's more important is that this attack, when killed, enemies cannot be revived, which is really, really notable. It also clears revive once, similar to, Red Hulk's special ability that first turn. So this is going to be very notable. Unfortunately, she won't have the ability energy to use this right from the get-go, but once she can, it's going to be very, very devastating. There's an ability block attached to this, additional bleeds, and the ability block actually lasts for 2 full turns at the T4. So this is going to be probably the first upgrade you should focus on, because that ability block lasting 2 full turns and attacking all of the enemies with additional damage, it's pretty notable. And then last but not least, Marvel Girl, as we saw in the summary, on spawn, she's going to be bearing herself and X-Men and Avenger allies for 30% of her HP. On spawn, she's also going to be gaining the ability energy for each of her reducing the ability energy of each enemy by 10. So this is very, very notable. But this is only live in Crucible when there's 4 or more Immortal X-Men. And then specifically in raids, which we'll see in the Spotlight portion of it, very, very similar. She's going to reduce the starting ability energy of each enemy. So this is what's going to be, really detrimental to the enemy opponents. As we level this ability up, it's going to give additional bonuses, defense up. And what I really like about her kit is that it's applying to X-Men and Avenger allies on a broad level. It doesn't specifically just isolate Immortal X-Men and the Uncanny Avengers. So there are certain values that she can provide there, but obviously you can see more of this the bonuses coming respectively to the Crucible side, and as well as raids, right? And more notably, the Safeguard does get applied here as well. So this is gonna be important to keep those buffs on your team. And then finally, this T4 upgrade anyways, on Crucible offense, if this character has 4 or more Immortal X-Men allies or in raids, enemies cannot fill or reduce speed bar for themselves. So it's very, very notable for any of those enemies that we're up against that do have that turn manipulation. So her ultimate, her passive, these are must-have T4 upgrades, and it's really going to be the special and the basic that's more of a luxury and kind of dependent on what your priority is. For example, if you don't play Crucible, then you can just conserve your resources here for the basic and the special. And the basic really is more just adding that additional defense down. It's more of a cherry on top. So, most of her abilities actually impacting enemy waves. I do think that she's going to slot in really well as a Raider ISO 8, especially if she has, the piercing damage, which makes it even more notable. And keep in mind, though, she is a support character, so she's not really intended for damage, but given where she's kind of lying right now with her kit, applying the vulnerables does make sense. If you want to, you can always make her tankier as well. Like you can see, she obviously barriers herself for a percentage of her max HP. So obviously having a bigger Jean Grey, a more survivable one is really notable, but this barrier only does get applied on spawn. So I can see the more offensive ISO 8s being applied to her, like Raider. You can also use Striker ISO 8 if there's not enough Strikers on the team, because that's kind of my fear right now, is that Falcon is typically also a Raider, and then Beast is naturally going to be a healer, and then we also have Storm as a Raider. So we're kind of lacking a Striker right now, so that's the other thing to consider. But for the time being, I am going to slot her in as a Raider just to see how that does with a bunch of Raiders in the Spotlight raids, and then we'll see in terms of efficiency we got to adjust. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Jean Grey, iconic addition into the game. Pretty pumped to use her. Pretty pumped to build her up, and then obviously test her out in the Spiral Raid. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Good luck with your orbs as well if you're using Power Cores to unlock her, and don't forget about the red stars, as those are freebies right there for this character getting added into the game. Thank you for your time as always. Happy Friday, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.